So we'll start this session now. In the last session, we have learnt about the packing efficiency in the simple cube. In today's class, we will learn the packing efficiency in body centered. Okay, body centered and face centered. So first of all, you should learn that what is a body centered cube. It is very important. Okay, so body centered means we will be having one cube. Okay, no talking here. No talking. So we'll be having what? We'll be having a cube, and we know that cube have 8 corners. These things I have explained you clearly in my last session. And along with these 8 corners, and each corner have one particle. Along with this, I have one particle exactly at the center of the atom, and because the center of the cube. Because of this, totally the number of particles is 8 into 1 by 8. That is 1 plus 1, that is our centered one. So total number of particles is 2. You should remember this. So total number of particles present, okay, in the cube is 2. Okay with this? Now how to find the packing efficiency? Okay, this becomes very important, and this question is important. That is finding the packing efficiency, okay, in our body centered cubic unit cell. Body centered cubic unit cell. So for packing efficiency, as I told you, what is the formula? Packing efficiency is equal to volume of, okay, volume of particles, okay, volume of particles divided by total volume of unit cell, total volume of unit cell, okay, into 100. This is the formula. Whereas when you talk about body centered one, how many particles we have? We have 2 particles. So it becomes, okay, volume, and each particle is a form of sphere because it is nothing but it is an atom. So each particle is an atom. So I can say that volume of 2 spheres. Okay, are you getting it? So volume of 2 spheres divided by total volume of unit cell, total volume of unit cell into 100. Okay. So we talk about volume of sphere. So what is the volume of sphere? As I told in the last session. So it is, okay, volume of any sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is the formula, okay, of volume of sphere. So we have 2 here. 2 is sphere. So it will be 2 into 4 by 3. Therefore I will write 2 into, okay, 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by volume of unit cell. What is the volume of unit cell? As I told you. Okay, if I take this, consider this point, and this is my x, okay, one edge length, this is my another edge length, x axis, y axis, and it becomes my z axis. Because it is a cube, all the edges are equal, all the sides are equal. Therefore, if I consider this as a, even this becomes a and this becomes a. So what will be the volume? Volume of any box or any hall or any cube and all will take length into breadth into height. Therefore, the volume of cube will be what? Volume of cube will be, okay, length into breadth into height. Okay with this? So here our length is a. So even the breadth is a, height is a. So I will take a into a, it becomes my a cube. Okay. So my volume of unit cell becomes what? It becomes a cube. So I will write this here into divided by a cube into 100. Okay. Now listen. So in order to solve this, I need the value of r and a because both are variables. All other things are what? It are constant because 2 is a number, 4 by 3 is a number. Value of y is 22 by 7, even that is a number. Whereas r is my variable and a is my variable. If I find the value of r and a, then easily I can solve this problem. So what is r? R is the, okay, I have taken this particle as a sphere. Okay, so a sphere is what? It is nothing but circular one, sphere, right? 3 dimensional. So what is R here? R is the radius, and what is A? A is the my edge length. So I need to find the value of R and A. Without that, I cannot solve this. So this, okay, this step become very important. That is finding the value of R and A. Without this, you cannot proceed and you cannot find the problem. So how to find the value of R and A here? So we'll come back to our unit cell. Our unit cell is body centered one. Body centered one. As in the last session, I explained you the simple cube. So when we talk about simple cube, that is we don't have any unit cell inside the body, any particle inside the body. Then imagine this is my what? This will be my face. If I take this face and draw like this, so here I have 4 corners, and again here I have 4 corners, and I told each corner will be having a particle. So that particle I showed you like this, right? So these particles, correct? This in the last session we have seen, but in this session, that is in this answer, that is packing efficiency in body centered one, we have one particle inside the body. Imagine, imagine this as a cube. So it has how many corners? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners we have. So these are faces, and I am saying that each corner have one particle and one particle at the center. If the particle is at center one, and if this is a cube, so it will be like this then. Okay, so I will draw it here. Just check it. So this is my unit cell, and one particle is exactly at the center one, center of the cube. Are you getting it? And because of these particles and other particles are at the corners, because of these particles, if I take one face, just any one side, one face, and imagine this face I am taking, the font one, and I will draw this face here. If I draw this face here, because there is one atom at the center, atom at the center, and I have atoms at the corners. Are you getting it? Atoms are at the corners. So it will be like this exactly. What is the difference between this and this? Here we have seen that in our last session and last problem, this is my edge length, right? And this edge length is equal to 2r, because this was my r, this is also my r. So edge length becomes what? Edge length is a. Any length is a here. So a becomes 2r. So a is equal to 2r here. But whereas here when you talk about, this is my a and this is the r, this is the another r. But I have a small gap here, correct? So a does not equal to 2r here. Keep in mind. So this is the difference between the last problem and this problem. There we have, value of a was equal to 2r. But here value of a is not equal to 2r because I have a small gap here. Because of the body centered one. So what to do now? So in order to solve this one, I will take two things. One is face diagonal, the other one is body diagonal. First we should learn this. What is the body diagonal? So imagine this is a hall, right? This is a cube like, exactly. This classroom is a cube like. So, and I told you to imagine this as a cube. So this is one face, right? This is one face. This is the another face. So totally 6 faces I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and top one 6 faces totally, right? So if I draw a diagonal like this, if I draw a line like this, so it becomes my diagonal. Yes or no? You take a square and draw a line. This is known as what? Diagonal. Because I am drawing a line on a face, so it becomes a face diagonal. So it becomes what? It becomes a face diagonal. So if it is a face diagonal, then what is my body diagonal? So another word is here body diagonal. So what is my body diagonal? Listen here. If I draw a line from this corner to this corner, this becomes a body diagonal. Again I am repeating, this corner to this corner, a line exactly example here, this corner to that corner. So this line becomes a body diagonal. Okay. So with the help of body diagonal, I am going to solve this problem. So again I draw it here. See, for example, if it is my unit cell. Okay, if it is my unit cell. So listen here. Okay, this is this from this corner. If I draw a dotted line to this corner, can you imagine a line passing from here to here? Or okay, I can take the another line also in order to understand it better. Okay, from here to here. Okay, from this line to this line. Can you see? This line becomes my body diagonal. So here you can understand it clearly. This line becomes a body diagonal from this corner to this corner. Okay. So this is known as body diagonal. Are you getting it? So in order to solve this,